everyone. My name is Davoli and I am a registered dietitian nutritionist. I work with Excela Health as a nutrition consultant, and I'm here today as part of your summer celebration. So thank you for having me be a part of your celebration. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to be cooking up two very easy summertime recipes. We are going to make them healthy. I will show you how to make substitutions, maybe some of the ingredients you don't have on hand. And we're going to talk, as I'm cooking, about easy food preparation tips as well. So the first item that we are going to be making is an entree dish. It is a baked ziti and summer vegetable dish. So uses very fresh ingredients. Many of the ingredients you may already have on hand. Maybe some of the ingredients you like to go buy at the farmer's market. You may even have some of them already in your refrigerator. So this recipe is chock full of nutrients. We can also talk about many substitutions for ingredients in this recipe, and it's very quick and easy to make. Okay, so let's take a look at the ingredients for our baked ziti and summer vegetable dish. So this recipe makes 4 servings, and it will take you from start to finish about 40 minutes to make. Our ingredients include 4 ounces of uncooked ziti, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 2 cups of chopped yellow squash, 1 cup chopped zucchini, a half a cup of chopped onion, 2 cups of chopped tomatoes, 2 cloves of minced garlic, 1 cup of shredded part skim mozzarella cheese, 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh basil, 2 teaspoons of chopped fresh oregano, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, 1/4 of a cup of ricotta cheese, 1 large egg lightly beaten, and some cooking spray. Okay, so that sounds like a lot of ingredients. But you will see how easy this dish actually comes together, okay? So for the sake of time, I've already cooked my pasta. I have it right here. And even though the recipe calls for using ziti, I did not have ziti in my pantry. I had farfalla, which happens to be the bow tie shape. So this is a kitchen tip for you, okay? For meal prep. Don't shy away from a recipe just because you think you don't have all the right ingredients, okay? So I didn't have ziti, so I'm using the farfalla instead. So it's already cooked, okay? So that's step 1 of the recipe. Step 2 is we are gonna take our medium-sized skillet, and you can see that I've already have it on the heat here. All right, and I've already added the olive oil, because next what we're going to do is we're going to start sauteing our vegetables. So we are going to add, let me shut this heat down just a little bit here. Okay, we're going to add the squash. All right, we need to turn this down just a little bit more. Okay. All right, so there's our yellow squash. Next we're going to add the chopped zucchini and the chopped onion. Okay, I'm using red onion. You could use whatever onion you have, yellow, white. I just happen to like red onions. I like the color that they give to my dishes. Okay, so we're gonna let that saute for a little bit. So while this is sauteing, let's talk about other vegetables that you could use instead of the squash and the zucchini, okay? So, like I said, many substitutions in this recipe. If you didn't have what is called for in the recipe, you could use maybe a jar of artichoke hearts, okay? I think chopped up mushrooms would be delicious in this recipe. And I also think that you could add fresh spinach to this recipe, okay? So we just want to cook this up. Make sure the vegetables are tender, crisp. And I'm all about the color. I love the color of the zucchini. You know, zucchini is going to be coming in season very shortly. Very accessible in grocery stores. Lots of people grow it themselves and very easily purchased at farmers markets. Okay. So there's our zucchini. Okay. Then to that, we're going to add the minced garlic. Okay. Now again, you know, if you don't have the fresh garlic on hand that you're going to mince, you could also use garlic that's minced already in a jar. So you could use that. And then we're going to add our tomatoes. Now the recipe does call for fresh tomatoes, and I did not have any on hand, but I did have this can of Marzano tomatoes that I just chopped up myself. And we're going to add this to the pasta bake. Okay. So again, another color, another vegetable. You know, tomatoes are very high in lycopene, which is an antioxidant that helps protect our heart. Actually helps protect us against certain types of cancers as well. So we're going to give this a stir. And I think these canned tomatoes they're going to work very nicely in this recipe. Okay, so we're just going to let that cook for a little bit, okay? Like I said, if you don't have the fresh tomatoes, don't be afraid to use already what's in your pantry. Canned tomatoes, whether they're whole or crushed, pureed, diced, those are always a good ingredient to have in your pantry, okay? So there's another kitchen tip for you. Stock your pantry with ingredients that are very versatile, like canned tomatoes, okay? All right, so I think that looks pretty good. All right, so that is heating up nicely. Next thing we're going to do is add in our pasta. Okay. So we're using the farfalle. I think I would use definitely some kind of pasta in here that has a shape to it, whether it is the ziti or penne or the farfalle like I have. You could also use seashells. What you want to try not to use is like regular spaghetti or fettuccine. I would definitely use some kind of a shape. Okay, so that's stirred up nicely. Then we're going to add half of the mozzarella. Okay, we want to make sure we get all that cheese. Okay, and I'm using the part skim mozzarella, so it's going to be lower in fat. Still going to give you a really nice flavor. I already bought it shredded. You can, you know, shred your own if you want. Mozzarella is actually a nice cheese. It has a mild flavor, high in protein, low in fat. Okay, so there's the cheese. And then next we're gonna add our herbs, okay? I'm using fresh herbs, but if you didn't have fresh herbs, don't be afraid to use dried. Okay, dried herbs are another item that you want to stock your pantry with. And then also in my little container here are the roasted red pepper flakes and a little bit of salt. Okay, so we're going to get that out and we're going to give this a nice stir. Get all these flavors mixed together. Okay, then that is just going to simmer for a little bit. All right? All right, so next what we need to do is we need to take our ricotta, our beaten egg and a little bit of salt, and we're going to make a mixture. So I'm taking my egg, the one large egg that's already beaten, and just a little bit of salt. We're going to stir this together. Okay, and then we're going to add this ricotta cheese and egg mixture to the pasta and vegetable mixture. Okay, so I'm using part skim ricotta also. They do make whole milk ricotta. If you're not concerned about the fat content, you could use that, or if that's what you have on hand, just use that as well. Okay, so you give this a nice stir. So all the cheeses are blended together, all the vegetables are blended together, and the pasta is getting coated with this sauce very nicely. Okay, we're going to shut that heat off. Then next what we're going to do is you're going to take your 8-inch glass or ceramic baking dish, and we are going to coat it with some cooking spray because we don't want this to stick to the sides or stick to our dish. Okay, so you're just going to lightly coat that. And then we're going to take our pasta mixture and add it to the baking dish. Okay. This would be a nice dish to serve maybe at a potluck, at a cookout, maybe if you're having some friends or family over. Very simple to do. Okay, so we're just going to set this aside here. Okay, then the final step here is you want to top it with the remaining mozzarella cheese. Okay, like I said earlier, this dish makes 4 servings. If that is too much for you, okay, what I would suggest that you do with this meal is that after it is done baking, that always try to keep on hand some good storage containers. I would probably portion this out into individual portions, put them in your storage container, and then store it in your freezer, or maybe just take one, store it in your refrigerator for a meal a couple days later. But this is actually a nice recipe that you can do that with. Okay, so just because it says for 4 servings, don't be afraid to make it. It's easily portioned out, and you can store it in your freezer. All right, so this is going to go in the oven, the 400-degree oven. It's already heated up for about 15 minutes. Okay, so while that is baking in the oven, let's clean up here and let's make our dessert. Okay, so this dessert is super easy, okay? It is a quick and tasty banana pudding dessert, and it is for 1 serving, okay? So let's take a look at the ingredients for our quick and tasty banana pudding dessert. So for this dessert recipe, which makes 1 serving, only takes about 10 minutes to make, you will need the following: a half of a banana sliced up, 3 tablespoons of thawed non-dairy whipped topping, a half a cup of diet instant vanilla pudding prepared, and 2 vanilla wafers. All right, so for a summer dessert, you really can't get much easier than this, okay? So, I have all my ingredients all portioned out. We're gonna make one serving. It takes about 10 minutes. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get about a 5-ounce glass or whatever kind of serving vessel you wanna put your dessert in. And we're gonna make layers. We are gonna start with the Cool Whip. Okay. And then we're gonna add a layer of banana slices. Now, like I said, the recipe calls for bananas, okay? But maybe you don't have bananas, or maybe you don't like bananas. I think that this recipe, you could substitute any kind of fruit, whether it is canned peaches, or fresh strawberries, or blueberries. I think you could put mango slices in here. Okay, the sky's the limit, honestly, with the substitutions that you could make with this dessert. All right, so then after the banana layer, you're going to add a layer of pudding. And the pudding is vanilla, and I chose to use diet pudding to make this dessert diabetic friendly and calorie control friendly. But you know, you don't have to use diet pudding. You could use regular pudding, and again, it does not have to be vanilla. It can be chocolate, strawberry, butterscotch, whatever kind of pudding that you like. Again, the sky is the limit here with substitutions for this dessert recipe. Okay, so then after your layer of pudding, you're gonna add a layer of bananas. Okay, and then you're gonna put in a vanilla wafer, and then you're gonna start all over again. Okay, so we're gonna do a layer of whipped topping, a layer of bananas, a layer of pudding, a layer of bananas again, your vanilla wafer, and then we're going to top it off with a dollop of the whipped topping. Okay, so here you have a very simple summer dessert. This dessert has about 180 calories, okay, and it has about 400 milligrams of sodium, right? So like I said, many substitutions here. I think this would be very tasty with, say, chocolate pudding, maybe some strawberries, maybe a oatmeal cookie, okay? Whatever kind of cookie you have. Doesn't have to be vanilla wafers, right? It doesn't have to be vanilla pudding. It could be whatever you have on hand. And that is another kitchen tip. Don't be afraid to make substitutions. Use what you have in your pantry. Use what you have in your refrigerator or your freezer, okay? My husband makes fun of me. He says, you know, Dawn, you use recipes as a guide. You never follow them completely. And he is exactly right, okay? I love to mix things up. I like to have different options in my cooking dishes, okay? So, super easy dessert. Let's take a look now at our baked ziti, because it might be ready. Okay, this is looking very tasty. Okay, can you see how nice this is? The cheese is ooey and gooey. It's bubbling. This is a very nice summertime dish. Okay, let's get that cheese off there. All right, so like I said, it makes 4 servings. One serving of this pasta dish has about 200 calories, okay? Good source of vitamins and minerals, very low in sodium, and also has some fiber, okay? So a very nice meal, an entree and a dessert. Whip it up very quickly in your kitchen. Impress yourself and impress your friends. So there you have our quick and easy summertime meals. So I hope you give these recipes a try. I want to thank you for having me participate in your summer celebration. Give these recipes a try. I hope you enjoy them. Stay healthy, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.